Lisa. And Irene inspiration. Will they ever catch her? Will you ever catch her? Watch this episode and learn something to your advantage.
And so, now let's get drawing in the do-it-yourself film animation show. This is the storyboard of the animated title sequence you've just seen. It's the plan of the film and tells you everything you want to know before you go into production. Colors, stylings, dialogue, what the finished frame will look like. A storyboard is useful even if you're making the most straightforward film. So, what goes into a storyboard? Well, first you've got to have a story. What I thought would grab you, have you sitting on the edge of your seats? What almost nearly always works?
Always have somebody chasing somebody else. It can be anybody or anything, in any direction, at any speed. This can go on for as long as you like, providing you don't run out of paint. If you do, use pieces of colored paper. Newspaper, toilet paper, silver paper, pieces of string, old detergent packets, G-strings, anything. What happens when the person is finally caught? That's easy. Remember, you have 12 beautiful noises given away free with our do-it-yourself cartoon kit. Just send 500 guineas and a genuine Australian wombat to this address, and these 12 noises will be yours.
The eternal chase. Men chasing women, women chasing men, cops chasing robbers, baddies chasing goodies, goodies chasing baddies. But you have a chance of setting your sights on Irene inspiration. And there you have all the ingredients of a cliffhanging suspense. The master of suspenseful script writing for the animated screen is Stan Hayward. He's written the stories for lots of my films as well as other people's. He's your actual expert.
What does make a good story? In one word, conflict. Will whoever it is get whatever it is? Will our hero get it? Whether it is love, fame, power, the last bus home, or in this case, will Hiram HB and his pals catch Irene inspiration?
You don't have to invent a story. You can adapt a ready-made one. Many Walt Disney films are based on old fairy stories, and if you think back on those, you'll find they're loaded with dramatic conflict.
Absolutely anything can be made into a storyboard. Supposing, for example, you had to write something on trigonometry. You might come up with something like this. Start with a cat, perhaps. You've got to get people interested. The man and the cat walk on, and the word trigonometry pops on and flashes. The man then points to the cat and says, "This is a cat." Then the sun rises, a shadow forms, and the man says, "And this is a cat's shadow." Then an angle pops on over the cat. The man says, "This is the right angle triangle." Then we pop off the cat, flash to 90 degrees, and the man points to the triangle and says, "Right angle triangles are very useful for measuring the height of cats." No idea is funny or fascinating just by itself. There's been some awfully boring sex films.
This chap parted with 70p, only to find that the angle and treatment weren't quite up to standard.
So once you've got your idea and you've worked out how you're going to make it interesting and what the angle is you're going to take, incorporate this in your storyboard, and this becomes your treatment and your structure.
In the titles, we decided to have a chase because A, I like chases, and B, the music seemed to suggest a chase. It had to be a very short chase because we only had 30 seconds at our disposal. How should we treat it? Well, it had to be treated in a jokey, vaudeville sort of way. And we must give it structure so that the chase will make you laugh. As soon as you laugh at one idea, we have to bring in another before you get bored. If we take in different scenery and obstacles, that will do the trick, as long as each one goes on for the right length of time. It's the timing, the feel for when the gag or the situation has made its point that is crucial to the scene working. You'll gradually get the feeling for it. Have another look at the results we got.
And now, Let's get drawing in the do-it-yourself film animation show. Starring your old friend Hiram HB, Erasmus Eraser, and Freddy F8. Thrill as they chase the elusive muse Irene Inspiration. Will they ever catch her? Will you ever catch her? Watch this episode and learn something to your advantage.
When you're doing a storyboard, you have to decide how you're going to make the film. We decided to make the front titles on cell, using register peg animation because we wanted to have tight control over the material. The end credits were simpler. So, as we also had a strong musical beat to help us, we could get away with cutout. In fact, we used both for their best properties. Irene Inspiration comes in on simple cutout, and as soon as she does something more difficult, like a bow at the end, we put her on cell. Remember, you're not just limited to making a film with cutouts or cell. You can use objects, anything. The Little Miss Muffet story differs depending on how it's made. This is how some students saw it. Well, here we have a simple cutout Miss Muffet. A maximum amount of expression with the minimum amount of means. Cut out spider, off she goes. Now this is slightly more elaborate cutout. And in a second you'll see some photo animation. Here we are, photo animation. Miss Muffet eating her curds and whey, down comes a cutout spider. So you don't get quite so much reaction there from a photograph. Now this is limited cell animation. The giveaway is the hand. You see the way the hand's moving there? You could never get this with cutout. Or at least it'd be very difficult to get it with cutout. Not too much going on, but it is cell animation. Nice point being made here. Bit slow on the track in, but that's good dramatic stuff. That's a nice point, yes. Now we've got some button animation. Of course you've got, it has a certain amount of charm, but you've got limitations here because the arm can't go across the body. It's got to go over the head and drop the curds and whey in from the top, you see. But it's quite charming. Down comes a weird-looking spider there, not buttons, but... Now we have a cubist Miss Muffet, and this must be particularly interesting to people who are not very good at drawing. You see, they're making the point there. Mouth opening and shut. Down comes a cubist spider. And off goes Miss Muffet. Now we have a very macabre Miss Muffet. Cutout animation, photographic cutout, cut from a magazine. And I think we have the situation reversed here because the lady, Miss Muffet, is much more terrifying than the spider. We can go the curds and whey. Very timid looking spider.